All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to episode 14 of Marketing Uncensored. I'm Sam Tomlinson.
I'm Collin Slattery.
Hope you're all enjoying the last little bit of summer. And for this week's episode, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about something that's very timely at the moment. Some group that's not
Rebrands.
enjoying a group that's
Taylor
not
Swift's
enjoying
engagement.
Taylor Swift's engagement. Talk about a
You're
rebrand. We can rebrand Travis to Travis Swift.
not how he lumbers down the field.
I was going to say false advertising if I've ever seen it. But
Good for him. Marrying up.
Killa Trav, good job. Well done. Nice work. Now let's see. I kind of have two thoughts. Number one, happy for you guys. It's always good. Number two, the baby boom is going to be epic. And number three, if this thing does not go through, those breakup songs are going to hit like crack.
Yeah, should go along some baby stocks or something.
Yeah.
Find a good investment opportunity.
Johnson and Johnson. Yeah, give me Johnson and Johnson. Give me the Honest Company.
Taylor Swift branded like no more tears from Johnson and Johnson.
Yep. No more teardrops in my bathtub.
Is that a song lyric or something?
Well, she's got a teardrops in my guitar song.
Okay. Yeah. I don't, all the Taylor Swift lyric memes I don't get. I was like, what is this gym teacher and like English teacher shit? And that had to get translated for me. So unlike you, I'm not up to date on my T Swift lyrics.
I am moderately up to date on my T Swift lyrics, but now I'm gonna have to find a new muse. So
Sydney Sweeney.
I mean, talk about Americana right there, Sydney Sweeney. Isn't she like pretty quickly become like America's sweetheart?
Half of America's sweetheart, perhaps.
That's true. There is a part of America that doesn't like her because she's pretty.
I mean, I feel like Taylor Swift and Sydney Sweeney have the opposite halves of the country.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate statement. But anyway, let's talk about other rebrands.
Yeah, let's talk about other failed rebrands.
Yeah, so this episode is a little different because number one, we have both talked about at various points how having a great product and a great brand is important for marketing. And the second part is a lot of companies who have solid brands manage to really mess them up. And there seems to be some commonalities. So we are hoping this episode will prevent future disasters. This is a public service episode, really.
Well, and it's not just good brands that become bad brands. It can also be mediocre brands that become worse brands.
That is a big problem.
Yeah. They're like, oh, let's get better, but change is not always good. And since we're speaking about change not always being good, I think the one front and center currently, the worst $700 million ever spent, perhaps, Cracker Barrel.
Oh my. Yeah, the Crack House did not do good.
$700 million. The rebrand lasted a week? 2 weeks, maybe?
Not even.
Like, oh my God.
Like, it's I mean, so we were actually at a wedding this past weekend. We drove past multiple Cracker Barrels because obviously the middle of Pennsylvania is a core market.
That is Cracker Barrel country for sure.
That is core market. And all I could think of is every time you drove by one, every time you looked at the parking lot, I was like, you guys are really that dumb, aren't you?
When is the last time you've eaten at a Cracker Barrel, Sam?
I have eaten at a Cracker Barrel precisely one time in my entire life.
Okay.
And it was because it was the only place open at a rest stop while we were driving. I think it was to Columbus, Ohio. And it
also
was
core Cracker Barrel country.
Fucking terrible.
The
only color on that plate was beige. I think even the broccoli was beige. And I hate broccoli.
A lovely gray color.
Put it this way.
A
I actually
sheen
can
to
tell
it.
you. I can probably tell you when that was because I know what I did the second I left, and that was I bought more NVO stock. I think it was it was probably 3 or 4 years ago, right when they were starting to talk about Ozempic, and we had gone to this Cracker Barrel, and I left there, and I was like, "Hold on, we're buying NVO because holy shit!"
Yeah. I've been to a Cracker Barrel a few times. The last time was last June, somewhat ironically, on our way to like a Dartmouth reunion where like my girlfriend and her friend had like used to eat at the
Wow,
Cracker Barrel.
just
And
yeah.
it
I was saying in
it was
college we
basically a
had
meme.
Waffle
Like
House,
also New Hampshire also Cracker Barrel country.
prime Cracker Barrel country.
Yeah.
Yeah, live free
Uh
or die. Yeah, I'll take Cracker Barrel country for 100, Alex.
and you will die when you eat at Cracker Barrel because
Yeah, it's
that
congestive heart
is
failure on a plate.
that is nothing but sodium, and you got to eat it fast because it starts to congeal and turn into I don't know what the fuck in like 5
No,
minutes.
it's just sludge.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I mean, really, all
maybe
they're doing
they
is
should have changed the rebrand color to gray. It's like Cracker Barrel gravy gray. Put that in the Pantone.
But anyway, if you were living under a rock and didn't know what they spent $700 million to do store updates and a logo update where they took away both the cracker and the barrel to
It's
make it more modern and inclusive.
And I mean, lots of the rebrands have been going this way. I don't think many people have liked any of the rebrands that are the flat and boring rebrands.
Yeah, because they suck.
Yeah. It's I mean you've seen all like the luxury goods ones too, like Balenciaga and like YSL and how it all goes from, Burberry nicely stylized to flat sans serif, boring ass text,
Yeah,
basically.
it's terrible. It is like the bad version of modern art.
And I, I think some of the things that need to be said about these rebrands in terms of why they're bad, like there's such a thing as brand affinity, right? People remember brands. Like
100%.
everyone knows what the Coca-Cola logo looks like, right?
Yep.
Everybody in the world. And when you butcher a logo, people are not going to recognize it. And sometimes it's like it's close, and so like there is some carryover, but sometimes it's an absolute disaster. Like I think Kia is a good example of a rebrand where like no one knew what it was. Google searches for what's that NIN car company surged because no one knew what the new logo looked like. It's very hard to build brand awareness and brand affinity, and it's not that hard to kill it. All you got to do is change your branding to be completely unrecognizable.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple things that people kind of miscalculate, right? Number one, you're right. It's emotional fundamentally, right? People don't like brands because of some rational decision. It's just an emotional attachment because that brand has some set of characteristics that resonate with them on a personal kind of a emotional level. It becomes part of their identity. So when you
I
change
went to
it,
Cracker Barrel with grandma when I was a kid, and it used to be fun and like memories of grandma. Like, yeah,
right, those are like emotional anchors that you have. And the second you start changing stuff, like you basically are taking away that thing. If that right. So it's a betrayal of that emotional connection. It's probably often a betrayal of trust if you fuck it up real bad, which sure, right?
it
Um,
breaks the bond.
right.
And so like the nostalgia, which generally performs well, it's gone, right?
Yeah.
That emotional bond is no longer
And I think the
there.
challenge that a lot of from when we've done a lot of rebranding projects, one of the things that I think most executives dramatically discount is the impact of doing that, because they're like, oh, they like us, they'll just get used to the new us, is usually the line of reasoning. And I'm like, no, 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 no. That's not how this works. Like, the people who are going to hate it the most are the people who love you the most now. That is, and if you think about any business, right, the overwhelming majority of successful businesses are ones where there is some kind of Pareto principle at play, where 20% of the customers you drive 80% of the revenue. And, you know, maybe if you go to Starbucks, that's not exactly true, but it's kind of close. McDonald's, it's the same thing, right? Like,
It's pretty much universally true.
it is pretty much universally true. Well, that 20% that's driving the 80% are the ones that have those deep emotional ties to your brand. And those are the ones who feel the most betrayed, the most hurt, the most abandoned when you rebrand the wrong way. And when they go away,
Nice business you have.
deuces, like, enjoy that PE buyout, because that's what's coming next.
Right. And this gets to a point that I think if you're doing a rebrand, it's important to factor in, which is like the rebrand, the growth that you expect to get from it, from new people, right? And like younger audiences or whatever, has to be significantly greater than the people that you're going to lose.
Yes.
And I don't think that's a calculation that a lot of these brands make. I mean, I'd be surprised if they don't at least think about it. They're gigantic companies, but it doesn't seem like they do the analysis particularly well. I mean, look at Cracker Barrel, look at Jaguar, whatever the fuck they did.
Yeah, that was a
Kia,
disaster. HBO twice.
Max, HBO Max, Max on HBO, like whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Didn't
Twitter?
Radio Shack do one? From Radio Shack to The Shack?
Did it? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
the Shack. Okay. No, I mean, I remember Radio Shack from the 90s.
Yeah, me too. Radio Shack
Does it
was
still
cool back in
exist?
There are approximately 400 authorized dealers in the United States still in existence, according to Wikipedia.
I got one of my early Christmas memory items at Radio Shack. It was a remote control monster truck. And it was probably 4.
I loved RC cars as a kid. Those things were so much fun.
I got into the advanced ones too, where they had like the little gasoline engine.
Yep. I've thought about, now that I have like land, I'll be like, I should pick up like RC planes, because those look real fun.
See, this is branding right here, by the way. Look, the nostalgia. This is what you kill when you fuck up a rebrand.
Yep.
The trips down memory lane.
Yeah. And I think when you summarize all the ones we just talked about, right? You got Kia, Jaguar, Cracker Barrel, HBO. There's like 4 common threads that go through all of them, right? Number one, they ignore the customer attachment, or they marginalize it at best. They don't do actual market research, so they don't actually understand who their customers are. They try to fix a problem that probably doesn't exist, and they jump on trends to the detriment of tradition.
Yes. I think the big one is, I think, the lack of market. I mean, they're all big, right? But I think the biggest one is the lack of market research.
Yeah.
Because most of these probably would not happen if they did a sufficient amount of research and then listen to what that research said. Right?
Yeah.
You know, universally hated is what many of these are. And if you did market research, you would know that.
Yeah. And I think it feels like so much of this is brands forgetting their place.
It's marketing executives getting high on their own supply with the branding agencies as well.
Yeah, and
and
branding
there's probably
agencies,
a little bit of like, it comes in, they're like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh shit, we spent all this money, let's just go with it. And it's like the
sunk
mutual
cost
delusion.
fallacy is real.
I will say, I would love this job, because 700 mil to like adjust a barrel a little bit to make
Yeah.
a yellow barrel shape and call it a rebrand.
Well, in fairness, I think
I'm
the
in the wrong
700
business.
mil did include the store renovations too.
Okay.
I think it was
I mean, I'll do
I
that
think it
too.
was
I'll do
35
some.
mil. I think it was 35 million in consulting fees.
I think we've said this before on other pods, but raise your prices.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Sorry, 30 million on consultants alone for the rebrand for Cracker Barrel. 30, not 35, just to make sure we put the right information out there into the world.
So everyone who's listening, just absorb that for a moment. That Cracker Barrel paid 30 million for people to come up with that horrific idea of a rebrand. I guess
Which
I'm curious now, and you might know this, like, has there been a good rebrand recently?
I mean, the ones that kind of stand out are Starbucks went through a pretty significant evolution from where they started with a naked girl on the logo to, well, the naked siren, but to what you see now, right? That's like a visually some kind of modernization.
Similar to what other brands have been doing, right? And like
Yeah, it's the same
Cracker
approach that
Barrel
like
wanted to do.
Amazon took. It's the same
The
approach that
simplification.
Microsoft took. It's the same approach
Google
that
did it too.
Google, Adobe. The ones that kind of definitely were bigger, I would say, would be Mountain Dew. I think actually went the opposite way. They had that super modern-y logo, and then they went retro.
Which feels right for Mountain Dew.
Feels on brand, right? That feels like it was done pretty well. Uber certainly went the modernization route, but they did it pretty slowly.
And that is, I think, one thing that's worth noting is that a gradual change can be fine. Um, like, I mean, Apple has changed their logo over the years,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's been small iterative changes
Right.
each time.
Yeah, 'cause before it was like Apple Macintosh, then it was just Apple.
They like removed the colors from the logo, I don't know,
Yep.
probably in the 90s or something. Um, they also changed it from like having an actual like bite in it to just having like the round shape. I think they used to have a bite in it. Gradual changes, I guess, reasonably okay.
Yeah, I think gradual change makes sense. I guess the other one that people don't typically talk about, because most times I hate them, is Airbnb. They went through a pretty significant rebrand.
I have no positive feelings towards
I hate
Airbnb,
them,
so
but actually, the one that we haven't talked about for a while is Lego. They were almost bankrupt. They went through that whole rebrand. They reconsolidated the operations. They refocused on core products and partnerships. And now they're one of the most profitable toy companies in the world. And that
I
was all
mean,
going back to basics and going back to your core customer.
that's not really like the rebrand though. That was just kind of the operational changes, which were admittedly excellent. And then, leaning on external IP and those affiliations.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what the Lego one was before, because I remember looking at it.
And I will say one thing that I think is relevant is that we are struggling to find ones where like, oh wow, this rebrand was good, right? Which means uh, at best they can be like neutral, or you can be, universally mocked for doing it terribly.
Yeah,
It's
the
very rare.
risk reward for a rebrand for an established company, I think, is sky. Actually, you know who actually did pull this off? Now that I think about it, Dunkin' Donuts.
You know what? Yeah, America runs on Duncan.
Yeah, but I mean, remember when we were growing up, the logo for Dunkin' was that coffee cup with the orange and the pink with Dunkin' Donuts stacked, and now everything is just Dunkin'.
Yeah, that is a good call out, and I think
I think they
yeah,
are one of the few that has pulled this off. The other one is probably Walmart, but Walmart didn't ditch everything. Walmart went from like wall with the little star bullshit in the middle, Mart, to Walmart. and they put the little star bullshit at the end. I don't even know
Yeah,
what the star's called.
small iteration.
Yeah, it's not. They didn't take away the Cracker and the Barrel from Cracker Barrel.
Um,
That was a bad life choice.
yeah, no, Duncan was good. I mean, Duncan was also kind of like a regional thing too, so I think they probably had a little more leeway to maneuver. Like it was mostly a New England thing.
Yeah,
Um, Pour one out for their toasted coconut donut, which you can't find anywhere.
yeah, those were. It's hard to find a good rebrand, and the risk reward on those, like you said, the EV is not positive.
No, no, it's not. Not usually. Yeah, especially I think now in the social media age where you're just gonna get absolutely destroyed.
Yep.
Um, like I mean, and granted, it like speaks to the current administration where like the president weighs in on the rebrand. Like that's probably not going to happen most of the time, but you know, like you don't want your 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah,
Like
to
you
be
just don't
happening
want
on
15
Truth
minutes of
Social.
you,
That's
you do
not a
not
good
want to be
place
the main character on the internet ever.
unless
And
unless you're marrying Taylor Swift.
that's right. Um, So yeah, main character on the internet, never a good thing. And I think rebrands, especially now, right, like have the risk where you become the main character of the
Hmm.
internet. Uh, and those are not good impressions. Um, though I
No.
would be curious to see if Cracker Barrel visits are up just because they've gotten, you know, billions and billions of free impressions.
Yeah, but those were.
Test the all press is good press maxim.
Gee, I mean, 30
I mean, it
million
worked
on
out for astronomer.
30 million on consultants alone. That buys a lot of media.
Well, and now they have to redo all the restaurants to go back.
Fortunately, they didn't change all the restaurants. It's like they put all the new signage up one day.
I mean, it wasn't the restaurant changes most of that 700 mil?
Yeah,
Don't
but
you think
they,
you do a lot of that 700 mil?
well, I mean, I guess I don't know what they contracted, but like we were driving past them this weekend and still
They still look like
there was
old
still a
Cracker
Cracker in a
Barrel.
barrel, at least on like the very tall, highway billboard sign situations. So I was like, all right, well, at least you didn't blow your money on that yet.
Could have put that 700 million into modernizing the recipes.
Yeah, or just getting better recipes or advertising or really doing anything. There's a twofold challenge here. Like number one is anybody can more or less build anything with AI. And we've seen, the slow and steady erosion of many brands due to Shein, Temu, all this other AliExpress, right? Everybody kind of knocks off everything. So brand is really the last differentiator that you have. So when you think about it, how do you protect it and how do you keep it updated without running into this problem?
I mean, I think the answer is in all of the brands that still have great affinity, which is gradual change if you're going to change it, right? Like, do not do a wholesale rework of your brand. Make a small tweak, and then you
Mm.
can make another small tweak. You're boiling the frog essentially.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think the big part that we started out with, which is it's the secret to performance marketing too. It's not like this crazy thing. Like actually talk to your customers. Actually understand them. And if you understand them and you
And
understand what they're
listen to them too. Like,
right, like
don't just ask them and be like, "Oh, cool, that's nice, thanks." Like, actually take that under
take it to
advisement.
heart because obviously Cracker Barrel didn't take it to heart. And
There's no way focus groups looked at that and was like, "Yeah, we like it."
no, like the CEO and her little pet CMO looked at it and they were like, yeah, we think this is good. And then the branding agency is like, watch us destroy this in 17 ways. I would love to know what branding agency actually did that work.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably a press release that they're anxiously trying to scrub from the internet right now that says,
Yeah, we rebranded an iconic slice of Americana. I'm like, but also don't be stupid. And I think this is what it comes down to for me so often is like brands try to get too cute and too clever. Like you are Cracker Barrel. I think this chain's been around since what, the 50s or the 60s?
Probably.
Okay, it features an old white dude on a porch with a barrel. It was old in the 50s and the 60s.
That was the point of it, to
It
harken back to an earlier
right,
time, the fucking covered wagons going out west, right?
right. That's the whole point. Is like the entire thing is nostalgia and Americana. Why are you trying to modernize that? Like you are selling. It's like going to the History Channel and being like, let's talk about tech. They don't fucking want to. They want to watch the World War II shows.
Unfortunately, that no longer exists on History, much to my chagrin. It's all fucking ancient aliens and shit, and highway trucker or whatever the fuck.
Well, at least they listen to their audience. The
Uh,
audience has evolved from World War II buffs to conspiracy theorists. That
so
tracks.
sad. So sad.
But I think the broader point is like, why are you trying to make this modern? Like, this is not a brand that lives on being modern or being trendy or being relevant. The entire appeal is that it isn't those things.
And brand is what helps all of the marketing and advertising that you do,
Correct.
right? Like you spend years, decades building up the affinity with the brand,
Mm-hmm.
the recognition of the logo, right? Like, why is it easier for Nike to advertise than it is for for example, right? Like, I
Because
bet you Nike's performance is better. And it's because everyone knows Nike. Everyone knows the swoosh. You see that anywhere in the world, like you show somebody a swoosh, boom, Nike. And they can associate it with Nike, with what Nike stands for, their products, etc. Right? Like that is real tangible value that is associated with it that you can like just light it on fire. It's literal money that you are choosing to light on fire.
yeah, 100%. And like we said, it's the money from your most valuable customers. It's not even money from your incremental customers, because most often the people that you piss off are the people that you need to make the business run. So if you're going to do a rebrand, it better be one that brings you closer to your best customers than one that makes you farther from them.
And again, subtle,
Yes.
light,
Light touch.
with exceptions, right? Like if no one knows who you are, okay, like whatever. I could do a rebrand on my agency, right? And like it wouldn't be a big deal because no one, there's no
No one
strong
knows who you
affinity with the
are.
logo, except for our nice little corner of the internet, which probably won't care.
That is
You know,
true.
like, and I think that's also true potentially with like very small brands. Like if you're a DTC brand, probably not a big deal, or certainly a small DTC brand, I should say, probably not a huge deal. You should still, if you're doing it, talk to your customers, right? Like get their feedback on it, but you probably are minimal brand equity.
Yeah, I think
But
that's right.
you know, I think the overarching thought here is that brand equity is a real thing. It has a real monetary value associated with it. And rebrands are predominantly destructive from a brand equity standpoint. And in order to avoid that, you need to be really, really, really careful.
I agree. This also does bring up an interesting point, though, and something that's been, we'll call it very, I want to say timely in the sense of the discourse on the D2C world is, how important is brand, right? Because I think for the last, it's probably generalization, but a lot of the discourse that we have seen since maybe the golden era of Facebook, 2014, 2015, 2016 to now, is that brand actually doesn't matter that much. And what really matters is performance. But
Right.
then what you've seen more recently are people like even some of the D2C heavyweights, like, Sean Frank has been famous about this. Matt Bertulli has been talking about this more. Um, Even Panzer over at Hexclad, as a private equity attorney, is like, actually investments in brand are some of our most profitable investments that we make. These are some
Right.
of the highest return investments that we make. And
And all of these people are incredibly smart. So like they're not trying to sell you something, like they've
no,
tested this. They know like
yeah.
this shit has returns.
So I don't think the takeaway should be that branding is bad. I think branding is actually some of the most important work you can do. I think it's just the point of you have to do it well and you have to do it right and you have to do it in a way that feels counterintuitive to how you run an ad account.
And you can't throw the work that you've done away.
Correct. And I think that's the other principle that I think gets lost because I think somewhere along the line a generation of CMOs got taught
That
there
brand
is
doesn't mean anything. So if you fuck around with it, it doesn't cost anything because it doesn't have value. And that is
that is
patently untrue.
false, right? But and you've taught them that basically you can control Z, undo anything you want. It doesn't work that way in relationships.
And brand consumer relationships are a real thing.
Yes.
Just like in the fast food social media accounts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I mean, I kind of, on one sense, I feel slightly bad for Cracker Barrel because they're getting, can we say bent over the
Absolutely
barrel?
roasted.
Is that
They're
allowed to be?
turned in the barrel.
They are in the barrel right now. That is true. But again, they weren't the first. Like, I mean, Jaguar did mess it up comically badly.
What was that in April? March or
Yeah,
April of this year? Oof. That was a modern art project. Like,
that was
holy shit.
terrible.
That was materially worse than Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the problem with what Jaguar did is they actively shit on their best customers. Like
All
who
their customers,
yeah, like
probably.
who buys a Jaguar? Like I'm sorry, but no one that was featured in that ad is a Jaguar customer.
I mean, I'm living in London right now. I know exactly who buys Jaguars. Uh, it's old white guys. The retired former VP of whatever at whatever, who wears a gaudy gold Rolex and plays a lot of golf. That is your average Jaguar customer.
100%.
Jaguar.
Yeah. Like these are car people. These are not art people.
And no one under 30 even has their driver's license anymore. Like, what are you doing?
It's true. So, I don't want people to think like, oh, it doesn't actually matter. Like it does. It's just you have to think about it fundamentally differently. And the other principle that I think everyone forgets, and the Cracker Barrel is probably the best example, is when you think about the rebrand, it's almost better to, I guess, let me flip the script, right? When we do a lot of marketing, one of the big questions that we are asked, I'm sure you're asked too by our clients, is how big is this market? How do I get more of this market? How do I scale and grow this brand? Right? That is like the fundamental question we're asked.
Yep.
With branding, it almost seems like the answer is almost always the inverse of that, which is how can we be as maximally relevant and appeal to this core white hot group of customers as passionately and as deeply as possible? Because when you do that, it seems like everything takes care of itself.
Yeah. I mean, again, back to that 80/20 rule, right?
Yep. I mean, it's the same thing of like, I don't want to say like LVMH has the strategy nailed because they have had their own flaws, but like, look at how they do branding. Their entire brand is basically fuck out of here. You're too poor to afford us. Don't even look at us, right? Everything is,
Hermes, the same. It is all about the brand. And this gets to the extreme side of brand value, right? Which is Hermes can take $500 worth of leather and stitching and sell it to you for $20,000 because of the value of the brand.
Yeah. And not only that, they can insult you while they do it. They can make you wait. Like, imagine that. Like, hey, I've got this product with like 92% margins, but you know what? I have like 7 in the back. Fuck you today. Like, come back in 4 weeks and bring me chocolates. Then I'll sell you this Birkin.
Yeah. I was like, we're supposed to go to, and that's the power of brand, right? Like we were supposed to go to Chanel. My girlfriend wanted to buy something at Chanel, has bought many things at Chanel in the past. And there was a literal line outside to get into the store.
And these are
Um,
not like these are not the median consumer who are waiting.
right. I mean, some of them were probably just looky loos. So I was like, I'm not waiting on a line to go in a store to buy something. But this is that far side of showing that brands have value,
Mm-hmm.
right? The luxury goods, 100% brand or 95% brand,
Yep.
right? I mean, Apple, the same thing, right? Like you
iPhones are
have an
good.
Android phone, don't you?
I got both.
Okay. But like, you know, from a technical standpoint, right? Like most Android phones are better technically, but
Correct.
the brand, and this is why Apple, up until the last couple of years, was the most valuable company in the world. Like they're able to charge significantly more and have a lot better margins because of the brand.
It's no different than, most other things. Like Starbucks charges double what Dunkin' does for a cup of coffee. I think it's about
Arguably the
double.
worst cup of coffee.
It's true, right? But that's the power of a brand, is that it gives you pricing power. So investing in brand is actually great, because investing in the brand and building a strong brand is what gives you the ability to avoid a commodity trap
Yes.
where, and we've talked about in previous episodes, like how bad discounting is for the business. Forget the brand, for the business, because you are essentially giving away margin dollars. Well, think of brand investments as basically an inverse discount. Instead
Yeah.
of giving away margin dollars, you get to add margin dollars for nothing other than the fact that it comes from you.
And it's sticky,
Yes.
right? Like that affinity, those brand affiliations, like they don't just go away instantaneously. I mean, yeah, they can decay over time,
Mm-hmm.
but they're much stickier than almost anything else. And they're behavioral too, right? Like
Well, they're
you
embedded
go
in
and
your
reach for a
identity.
Coke. Like you're wherever you're like you see a Coke, you're like, cool, I'll have the Coke, right? Like you reach for it. I'm going to buy a new phone, like it's gonna be an iPhone. Why? I don't even know. Like, is it the best phone? Probably not. Because I bought an iPhone before. I'm an iPhone guy. Like, I like the blue bubble. Why do I like the blue bubble? Who knows? It doesn't even
Because you have
matter. It's just like
OCD.
a blue bubble. Um, and I'm just gonna buy it, right? And you don't need performance ads to get me because like
You're
done.
already there.
Yeah. And I have those positive affiliations.
Yeah.
And I think we all have them. Everyone can probably think about things that they buy. You know, CPG is a great example of this. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like you're in a crowded cereal aisle, you grab specific cereals. You're not looking at
The
everything that's in there.
ingredients or the nutritional value or the flavor profile. You're just like, nope, I like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yep.
And
Give
if
me
you're
the
that,
B. Let's go.
yeah. And if you're that kind of sociopath who likes regular Cheerios, I can't help you, because that's basically just cardboard.
I mean, I do like Rice Krispies, which is a basic cereal, but
Rice Krispies is fine. That at least has flavor. I feel like
Cheerios not so
plain Cheerios is like what I envision if I were to grind up cardboard and pour some milk on top.
With banana and honey, you know, and I'm down on some plain Cheerios. But there are some psychopaths that will eat them plain with no milk, and then you're like, what bodies are in your backyard? Like who is buried behind your house?
So, I mean, I think that's Don't be like these bad brands. Don't be like Cracker Barrel. Pretty good, just general life advice.
Yeah. And understand that all of the things that you see happening, right? If you were a performance marketer, speak to the value of brand, right? If brand did not matter, if there wasn't value associated with the brand, like no one would give a shit about any of these.
That's
Like no one would
correct.
care about the Cracker Barrel change. No one would care about Jaguar. Like it would be
It'd be a
completely
nothing
irrelevant.
burger.
Yeah. And the very fact that there is, you know, Cracker Barrel as the main character of the internet because of a rebrand speaks to the fact that brand has value. And as a performance marketer, that is something to be aware of and think about.
The other piece of this, and I think you tied into this nicely with the gradual evolution, is if you are a brand marketer, and I know most of us have had, we'll call them dust ups with brand marketers as we try to launch ads and get results, and the brand team is like, nope, that's off brand. There is nothing wrong with evolution. I think there has to be a balance here between brand absolutism, which is what a lot of us, if you're in performance marketing, you've probably dealt with this in one time or another, and brand disregard. And there is a happy medium somewhere in there that you have to try to find, because it is okay to go off brand a little bit for an ad. It is not okay to abandon the brand in favor of nothing.
Yeah, I think that's
Like,
true.
there is a happy medium somewhere here, and for every brand that medium is probably a little different, but like you got to find the balance. And if you go to either extreme, it's basically the horseshoe theory of branding. If you're a brand zealot or a brand atheist, you suck. You just suck for you suck in the same way for a different reason. There is a nice practical other side of the horseshoe where we're like, hey, this actually is a really valuable thing that we should be thinking about and nurturing and evolving over time so that it remains relevant with our core group of consumers and continues to pay significant dividends. So just don't mess it up.
I think there are a couple extreme exceptions, and that is, again, two ends of the spectrum. Like, if you have no sales, right? Like, if you are super small, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a brand, it doesn't matter.
No,
And
ship
then,
shit.
if you are Disney, like, okay, like,
Right. But
fine,
like,
mostly
look,
brands.
yeah, but I mean, even Disney, like, look at the evolution Disney has gone through over the years with their brand. I mean, it's not massive, but, before Disney World was all princesses and shit. Now Disneyland has Star Wars Land.
Oh,
Like,
and Star Wars Land is fucking dope.
it's real cool, right?
I had so much fun at the fucking cantina, let me tell you.
The cantina
And I
is
even bought one
great.
of those stupid mugs.
Yeah, I bought a mug. I bought a lightsaber. I had a grand old time.
Ah, they
But
got me.
I mean, I think it just goes to show you, though, that even an iconic, a brand that is literally probably a piece of every person listening to this show's childhood has evolved in some way. Because we all grew up watching Disney. And when you're an adult and you watch it now with kids, I'm like, some of that shouldn't have probably been shown to us, but that's okay.
A different era, different era.
Different era, different era. But they managed to evolve and not like completely piss off everybody. Like, it can be done.
Sure, of course.
But then I think on the flip side, you are 100% right that there are like these startups that have like 2 customers and they're like, we need to work on obsess about our brand. I'm like, no, you fucking don't. You don't have a brand. You know what your brand is right now? Your brand is the product that you don't have product market fit for. Get product market fit, like get a general idea of who you are. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. Like,
Yeah, like I am starting a brand right now. And it doesn't have a brand, right? Like I just need to sell product and that's it, right? And so, if you
yeah,
are at that stage pre-product market fit, don't worry that much about brand. Like definitely, and where you are on this kind of horseshoe, right? Like it moves over time, right?
hmm
Like Hexclad probably didn't need to care about their brand really 5 years ago. They need to care much more now today. And so as you scale and
right.
as you grow, it's more important to put a focus on it, um, or it factors more into your decisions.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, my general rule of thumb is something like until you have product market fit, you cannot have a brand
Yes, I think that's
because
excellent.
your brand needs to be something that is resonant with your core audience. And if you don't have product market fit,
You
you
don't
don't
have a
have
core
a core
audience.
audience. So you cannot have a brand. What you have is a logo and a nice website and some fucking messaging that you hoped would resonate. But until you have product market fit, until you have some level of consistent, repeatable sales from people who say and express and actually follow through on giving you money for the thing that you have, you do not have a brand. You have a cool thing that you're trying to sell on the internet or
You're a
in
drop
person.
shipper.
Yeah. Or I mean, the same thing is true for retail. Like we have, people who are like, I'm building this thing. I'm like, cool. They're like, we want to have an iconic brand. I'm like, nah, dude, it's not happening. not in this,
Iconic
not,
brands take time and
not in
money.
this decade.
Yeah,
Like that's
come back in
okay.
40 years.
Right. Like it's just not happening. Like you're building
And
something
again,
cool.
this gets back to the problem with rebrands, right? Is like decades to build, a day to destroy,
Yeah.
right?
It's the same thing. We work with Kevin Plank from Under Armour, the CEO, and he used to say, trust is built in drops and lost in buckets. And it's the same thing with brand. Like, are you really willing to risk tipping over the bucket for this? And I think if you would have asked any rational actor, are you willing to tap over the barrel of Cracker Barrel Goodwill for that logo? I would have been like, hell no, the old man stays. How about this? This is a free offer extended to all decently iconic brands. If you are considering a rebrand and you want to know if it's a good idea, Collin and I will give you 15 minutes of free consulting before you do it. We will save you millions of dollars. This is the best
I
offer
will
on the
not be
internet.
doing it for free, but I will do it for a relatively low price compared to whatever you are spending on the rebrand. Come
Yeah.
hire us.
Yeah. We will save you millions and millions and millions in lost revenue. You're
Yes.
welcome.
Yeah. For a very low price.
Yes. But please stop making bad decisions. Please stop doing dumb shit. Please stop getting high in your own supply. Please learn from Cracker Barrel.
Correct.
Leave good old Herschel alone.
Is that his name?
That
Because
is
I
actually his name.
it's so appropriate. I'm so angry now. I'm even angrier now about it, knowing that they scrubbed Herschel from history.
It's just
So
not good. It's
disappointing.
not fair. Justice for Herschel.
Justice for Herschel. Thanks for tuning in to episode 14 of Marketing Uncensored. Hope you enjoyed our rants around brand here today. If you have questions or comments, hit me or Sam anywhere you find us. We're more than happy to answer them on the show. And until next time, don't fuck up your rebrand.
Thank you.